Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Powerful on Purpose. And this is another special segment, the author journey. I am your host, Leslie Capps, author in 30, where our motto is let's get the words out of your head and into the world. Super excited to share today guests with you. It is Denise. I was like, and all of a sudden I tripped out on your last name, right? Like, this is not our first go around. So,
No.
welcome. Denise was an author in Wake Up Revolution, Women Rising into Voice, Purpose, and Impact, which if you have not gotten this book, you should. It's a fun read, but we'll talk a little bit about the book. But Denise is here today to really talk about this idea of the author journey. It was kind of my desire and dream to let's peel back the curtain, right? And not only make it more accessible for people, but understand some of the behind the scenes or some of that stuff that everybody says that between you and me, a lot of that is just total BS. So that's really the intention of the show. So welcome, Denise. And I would probably, it's a good thing I didn't have your intro, right? I would probably mess that up, even knowing you. I'm like, that's the point. Yeah. When you know somebody, you're like, I know him, I don't need it. And then you think, oh, I'm on
Yeah.
camera. What am I saying here? So yeah, tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah. I'm a life coach. I primarily work with women who are healing from harmful and abusive relationships. I think it's a very nuanced space, and the healing journey from those types of relationships, whether they're from a family system, a relationship, friendship, even workplaces can become exceptionally toxic. It's such a nuanced space, and the healing from that is there's just nothing about it that is linear whatsoever. And so I understand that. It's a huge piece of my story. And it's a very humbling and honoring experience to walk alongside people that are on that journey. And, in coaching them, I'm coming from experience, which I talk about in my chapter in the book. And, so I have a lot of compassion for people on that journey. And I don't take it lightly when people reach out to me. Or I've had a few people, like, from just sharing the book over the last month, reach out to me because I've been sharing more parts of my story in that area, and they're reaching out and saying, hey, I know someone that's on this, like, really hard place right now, can I give them your information? So I never take that lightly. It's really always an honor. So that's one piece of the puzzle. And then the other piece is I co-lead a ministry called From Rundown to Renewed. And we started as a faith-based women's podcast, which we really just wanted to serve rundown women. My business partner and I, we understand that. It's a huge part of our journey. And we just wanted to serve women who were exhausted and tired, and also just in the faith space. I think a rundown woman is also a very underserved woman, especially women that have walked through trauma, because people just don't know how to speak to that, or how to sit with that, or how to deal with that. And not just in the faith space. I think that's everywhere. Trauma is scary. And when you don't have the words, which there aren't any really, right?
Yeah.
Almost like there's just this avoidance piece, because it's hard. Like, I have compassion for all pieces of that puzzle, because it's a challenging space. So anyway, all that to be said, that podcast started in May of 2024, and it has snowballed into a full-blown women's ministry. So we now offer we have women's conferences. We have two coming up in the next 6 months, which we're really excited about. We have healing gift boxes, which we love. We just opened up a new membership, which includes daily devotionals that we write. We pick different scriptures and we just dissect it, and we ask questions, and it's in a group chat. So there's community, and women can connect with one another on a regular basis. And then we have a coaching call, and we also offer a prayer call as well. So as part of the membership. So we're really excited about that. We just launched it, so we're in the baby phases of that, but it just felt like the next right step. So we're excited. Lots of things happening.
Oh, lots and lots of things
Mhm.
happening.
Yeah.
And we definitely want to get to the book and you being an author and that journey. But something you said so struck me about trauma. And it's like we know it goes on. We've all experienced it, and yet it still has this stigma attached, right? Like, and I think maybe even particularly more so in the faith-based arena, because now I believe in this power bigger than me, and yet like I'm freaking miserable, right? So it can create this disconnect, especially for women, because we're feeling
Yeah.
creatures.
Yes. Yeah. There is definitely this disconnect. And like from my own personal experience, like I have a degree in ministry. And so like there's this unspoken pressure of, well, I'm a leader. I have all the answers, or I should. I don't. I really don't. But I should. And people look to me and they look to me to be an example. And because they do that, I I can't fall apart and I can't be miserable and I can't, and there's just this list of can'ts, and all of that really ties back to shame, right? Because it like becomes this inner voice that then, well, I just have to perform and I have to put on a good face, and because that makes people more comfortable. So if I can just show up and be around people that I do really love, but not burden them, right? Like we think our trauma is a burden. It's challenging. It's a challenging, and all these things are lies, right? And that's a huge part of my story too, is when I started just telling people this is happening and I don't even have words for it, but I'm in so much pain and I don't know what to do with it. People were incredible. Like they were so open and compassionate and loving. And that's actually part of why we just started this membership, because we started doing these prayer calls back in May of 2026. So we're recording this end of June 2026. So they're very new. And what we were sensing even from those few calls was just this need for community and this need to like be not okay and in a safe space where you can share that and unburden yourself and like dig into God's word together and not feel like you're on an island in whatever season, right? Not everyone that we meet with is in a lot of pain, but in whatever season women are walking through, this provides that space, which is just really, really, it's just very humbling to me that I'm able to do these things, like, and that I've been led to do these things. And total disclosure, like, I don't have all the answers and I don't pretend to anymore. I do my best not to carry that burden, because that's exactly what it is. It's a burden. And when you start to form community with the right women, with that, like they're not gonna shame you for your hardship or for your confusion or for your hurt or for whatever you're carrying, those burdens start to lessen. Like they really start to go away,
Yeah.
because you're not carrying all of it yourself. You're now, you're sharing it, and that helps the shame too. That helps eradicate the shame.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Love that. So what made you decide to join this particular book project? Because I know like you've written, at least been part of another collaboration book,
Mhm.
correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was in my first collaborative book back in the fall of 2025, and I met you, I think beginning of 2026. So how cool, like all of these
Right.
things that have happened in the last 6 months. But when you put it out there, I really felt at the beginning of this year, I really felt led to share some of the deeper parts of my story that I just haven't been ready to share. And there's a lot of healing that's, I mean, even still going on, right? But I just really felt led to kind of get into more of the trickier bits, because I feel like I can talk about them a little more eloquently and they're not tied to the grief so much anymore. They're kind of separate from that, more so, at least in a way where I can talk about them and share about them in a way where it's not like causing blame or, just like gossiping or just, throwing people under the bus. It's like, these are facts. This is a part of it. And here's how I dealt. And here's how, I lived through it. Here's how I worked through it. And when you put this pitch up about the book, it was, it kind of was a no-brainer of like, this is a space. This can get out to the masses. This can get out to women I'll never meet who could be walking through similar journeys, or, a part of the, total disclaimer, spoiler alert, part of my story is, there was a moment that was just a complete breakdown, which turned into a breakthrough. But that breakdown was awful. I mean, it was really, really rough. And I share about that in the book. And, I think our darkest moments, when we sit with them, when we're with our pain, we're able to go through it. We can get to the light. It's just, you got to sit with that darkness for a bit. You know, you got to get curious about it and be kind to it and let yourself walk through it. And I mean, I'm hopeful that any woman that's in that dark space can read my chapter and be like, okay, well, she got through the darkest moment here. I can too. You know, honestly, I want to provide hope for people that are in hard seasons.
Absolutely. And yeah, because life, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, there's always hard seasons. I mean, that's part of life, right?
That's part of life. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's always a time and a need. And yeah, I love that. So what surprised you most during the process?
I second guessed myself a little bit, like as I was editing and writing, and it because I shared more vulnerable parts, like I said, and you know, it's that you're feeling led to do it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're comfortable doing it. I tend to kind of avoid and procrastinate when it's like not comfortable. That's my go-to. I've gotten a lot better, but that's what comes out of me when it's, when there's uncertainty and discomfort and, almost a, what's the word? Like imposter syndrome too, right? Like that comes out, I think, a little bit in the journey of who am I to be sharing this, and does this really matter, right? Like those things creep in, and you have to, I think so much of being an entrepreneur and business owner and author, and however that entrepreneur journey takes you, so much of that is personal growth. I mean, it just stretches you.
Right.
Completely. And if you're not open to being stretched, just don't even jump. Just stay far away. Like just don't because it will. And I don't know that I was surprised by the stretching so much, but it was just those questions creeped in of should I don't know, maybe, like is this necessary? Just the questioning popped up a lot throughout the editing and writing process.
Yeah, and I think it's that aspect of, can I own this?
Yeah.
If I put it out there, right, I'm declaring, because it's out in the world, it's on paper. Can I own this thought or this idea or mission or whatever it is?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's out there forever, right? I mean, people could pick it up in 10 years and they will. They absolutely will, right? I mean, that's the thing about a book is it lives forever.
Exactly.
Forever.
Exactly. Yeah. So you kind of addressed this. So talk to us a little bit about how becoming an author has changed you.
I think it's given me more ownership of every piece of my story. I think in facing some of the harder parts in my chapter and being more honest and just vulnerable with them, it's allowed me to just have more authority over them. Like, of this is mine. This is my journey. And I'm so proud of how I've handled that. And I'm so proud that I get to share this, right? I think it's scary to, air out all your things. It is. But it's even like unburdened some of that as well, like some of the weight of that, because now it's like, you know what, this isn't just for me to carry anymore. Like, this is not that I'm making people carry my stuff, but this isn't so heavy that I'm choosing to carry it all by myself. I'm actually making a choice to share this in hopes that it will provide relief and hope and encouragement for whatever hard season people are walking through when they read it.
Right. And part of why I set up the questions I did too was not only thinking about that, but really this idea of that was our past chapter that's led us to this chapter. Right. Mm-hmm. And so absolutely. Not only that possibility, but look at, because you created a ministry, you created a business, books, all sorts of things right out of that moment of sitting there on the bathroom floor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's really incredible what happens when we allow ourselves to heal and to be curious and to sit with our pain and to open ourselves up. And I will not say that any of it's easy or not scary, because all of it is that, but it doesn't, when you release that, it doesn't doesn't stay with you in the same way. You allow it to be a journey rather than like a destination of pain forever. I never put my stake in the ground and said, I'm just going to live here now. Absolutely not. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, that book journey as our life. And yeah, so cool. Love that kind of analogy. Of course, right? Go figure. So what would you tell someone who's thinking about maybe writing a book?
I would tell them to think through like what they would want to share, right? You don't want to be like, don't go like have some form of, direction. But if you feel led to do it, your story is worth putting out there. Your voice has value. And you have no idea the impact, that you can have and the impact that it will also bring to you and the ways that sharing could free you up, could encourage you, could build your confidence and your self-esteem and your self-worth. I mean, being an author is genuinely it's a confidence building exercise. It's, but truly like we're giggling about it, but it will challenge you, it absolutely will, but it will also bring out parts of you that, maybe you hid away or you just didn't believe in, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and to share and to bring up whatever story you feel led to share. It could make all the difference for others, but also for you. It's not just for the readers. It's for you too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So true. Because I know you had a few moments where you thought, wait a minute, who am I? What's going on? I don't know what I'm doing here. And yeah, those, which, as you know, like I tell everybody, that's part of the journey.
It is.
But if you don't know that, right, kind of freaks you out and can stop people in their tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good to have a disclaimer of this will be so like invigorating and it will be also challenging. Like it's a both and situation. You're going to have to give yourself space to hold both in the process. Yeah.
Very similar. I mean, I'm not going to equate because there's many differences, but there are similarities in the sense of contracting to expand, birth, right? That contracting and going, and then the expansion of, yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's absolutely. That's a perfect, that's perfect. Yeah.
All right. Well, tell us about what's next for you. You got all sorts of stuff going on. Is there something beyond that or something that you really want to share with the audience about what you're doing?
I mean, I shared so much of it, but we are really just so excited about this community membership that we've built. And so I would love for any woman listening, if you're looking to enrich your faith, enrich your community, have support. My business partner is also a life coach. We are both coaches. And so we are both trained and we understand like the neuroplasticity of things for any of my like brain people that are listening, like, because healing it's mental and it's physical, right? There's nervous system work. There's all kinds of things. I won't get into all the nitty gritty, but we are both really passionate about like a whole healing experience. And we just want to invite women into a safe place for them to grow and to have support and have community and to feel less alone. So we would be honored to have you. June's doors are closed, but we'll open up July here very soon. So it's going to be great. We're so excited to just see who comes in and how everyone's led to us and what happens in the group and the connections that are made. I mean, I just think it's really going to be really, really powerful. So
without a doubt of that, I'm 100% convinced.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Well, today's guest has been Denise Stiffler. See, I remembered her last name. And if you haven't, check out the book that Denise and 9 other amazing women are in. And also, we're doing a book in 30 days challenge. If anybody is interested in writing a book, come join me because I'm super excited. I'm writing a book right alongside you. All right, everybody else, stay tuned and be sure and subscribe because you don't want to miss any more powerful conversations.